you first started, and some of the training that you went through? Because there's a lot of agents that are going to be able to relate to this. Did you get off to a really good start? Were you a natural? Did you have to work at it? Was it tough? Was it easy? What advice would you give?
What I tell everyone, I told the cab driver the other day, find someone who's doing what you love and doing really good and that you really like. And go talk to them, go sit in their office forever long, do whatever you have to get me with them, say, look, I like you and what you're about. Can I sweep your floor? Can I sweep your floor? Can I be around you in any way? Can I get on this wave you're on? My father beat the pavement for 12 or 13 years before he gave me a list of people to cold call in the summers before I went to college. Now, 2 summers of cold calling, going out on appointments with him. Success was pretty easy for me. The first month I sold like 17 policies, which,
Wow.
Was a big deal. But I'd had 2 summers riding around with one of the top agents in the country. To get over the hump in the insurance business, that happens here. It happens here. You got a lot of people think they're going to go find the next word or the next talking point or the next close or technique or whatever. Man, when you become the right person, the sales come to you.
Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. Today's a special guest that's been on the channel not once, I don't even know about, maybe not twice, not 3 times, but man, he's back and I love hanging with him. And he just spoke live at 8% for the 2nd year in a row, all the way from the Virgin Islands, technically at the moment. Please welcome back Mr. Brandon Todd.
Well, actually, not technically. I'm actually in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Cody, man. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you, buddy. It's not even a green screen. Like, he's literally there. He was just walking me through the house. He walked up on the roof, walked around the pool, showed me the sick view from the balcony. I was like, dang, dude, I love this, man. This is the life.
Dude, I got to tell you, man, congratulations on another great conference, 8%. That was really cool. I didn't get to go to the Statler before, so I saw the contrast, and there's something to say about each, but that intimate event was there. I think the whole crowd really, really got engaged because of the intimacy of the event. Mm-hmm. And, man, it was like a love fest for the most part. It really was. Where last year it was a little more bigger and grandiose, but this time it was a little more intimate. Speakers were phenomenal. You're getting just fantastic on stage, dude. Just glad to have been a part of it. And, sorry if I made everyone cry.
Well, you definitely did that, but no sorries needed because you were definitely sharing from your heart and helping people along the way, which is cool. Also, for those that don't know, Brandon Todd's the founder of Insurasales, has sold and exited some extremely large companies. As someone that was a part of Agency Investors, our new Shark Tank style show, which we're releasing here in a few months, which we'll kind of give some behind the scenes about. But how was the show for you, man? How was Agency Investors?
Dude, that was so cool, man. I can't, it's up there with the top days I've ever had doing work.
Wow.
First of all, you and your team were first class getting that studio built out and paying the extra to get that team that was there used to working there together. But then I think the chemistry I had with Billy, Cassidy, yourself, and Edward, like there was something there that like you just how you picked us. I didn't know if it was on purpose or what, but there was just a chemistry there that we felt, and the guests. I mean, there was all kinds of guests. I don't want to give anything away, but there's all kinds of guests. Really great deals being done. Some laughable moments, we'll say that.
For sure.
But I can't say I had a better time, and I've had some relationships come out of it that are fantastic from it too. So, and that's what you do is you get people together, man. That's great.
True. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. That's powerful. And I noticed, man, like when you hang out with Brandon, like you'll see his gift is, he can really, understand like the pieces of a larger puzzle, and kind of like how they form and go together along the way, which is special. Do you think that's a gift, or do you think that's just decades of high level business experience?
It's both. So it's kind of a curse as well, because before I was conscientious about it, I had symptoms of what people would call attention deficit disorder. I realized that was mostly from my diet. But there is something about that. Now, a lot of people don't call it attention deficit disorder. They don't call it a disorder. They call it, like the most creative people like Da Vinci and all that would be called ADD today. But I've had scans done, I had tests done, and I had very active creative centers of my brain were very active. And so when you have what they called it was the ability to parallel process. Well, a lot of people can think one thing at this. Some people can see 4 or 5 angles at once and then see how they come together. Now it comes across as ADD a lot because their mind's thinking of 3 things and it's moving faster than their mouth is.
True.
But what I learned personally is, first of all, that can become highly functional if you correct the right things, which is your diet and exercise correctly and do the things that you can do. Most of the negative symptoms on that are caused by diet. So in that way, it's a gift. But then what always matters is how you use your gift. And no matter what your gift is, whatever you have, it can almost always your greatest gift is also your biggest weakness. That's almost true with everybody. But the true people know how to shore up their weaknesses and then play to that strength. So I need to have a lot of, what would you call it? Organizing people around me. I need to have, I'm more creative, so I need to have a lot of organizers around me picking up the pieces and things like that and propping me up where I can see the matrix and say, this is what we need to do. And this is how it fits together and things like that. So, so you asked me if it's a gift or it's all that. Well, you use your gift and you do it for 20 years and you jump out there and you look at things we did with Prescription Lifeline, Medigap 360. We go out there and we say, we're just going to go. And about this, I know, is you get so much success because you're such good at marketing and all that all of a sudden you're like, what do I do with all of this? And then that's when the real challenge is you have to come back. And over years and years of trying to pull people together and put it into controllable systems, I think that's where it comes from. So just like any muscle, once it's practiced, you have it. Some people have a natural physique to get big, but if they don't use it, they're just going to wither off.
Amen. Yeah. Also, like, I think really what I want to really be able to dive into a little bit on this is really like the truth behind an amazing career in insurance and how you've done that. And you're still growing it and building it. Like, yeah, you've had a lot of success, but you're not like someone that's just naturally satisfied with where you are, and you compare yourself to like some huge names. So even when you do have a lot of success, you have a house in the Virgin Islands, the yacht, all of their stuff. It's like, yeah, but there's still another level to me, What has the insurance industry meant to you?
There's a lot in there. What the insurance industry's meant to me, I mean, it was my father. Everything goes back to my father, who's my mentor, best friend. May rest in peace. It was the first sales job he got that could give us a steady income. He was a great salesperson. He worked his tail off, but often the rugs get ripped out from under him. Most sales jobs are all hype. You're going to make this, you're going to do that. Someone on high pulls the rug out from under you. Your family's starving. They don't care. They roll it up. Some accountant in some home office somewhere says, we need to, these people are making more money than us and they're just salespeople. That happens all the time. We need to cut commissions down so we can increase profitability. And they don't understand what happens. When they do that, they don't understand why they're there and they have a job. It's because somebody's selling something, right? So, I mean, for me, that was the first time we ever got stable income, residual income as a base. That when you wake up and your bills are paid. And if you don't make the mistake most people do is spend every dollar they get when they first get started. Start making $100,000, I'm gonna spend $100,000.
Yeah.
If you're making $25,000 for you make $100,000, you spend $26,000. Buy yourself some ice cream every now and then or something. But if you do that and you realize that you say you have a $2,000 bills every month for your lifestyle, and those are paid every month, and you don't take the bait to do other things, you can now relax. And don't keep yourself in stress. You can relax and you can go discover who you are and what you want to be. Because before that point, the stress is always on you to get your next paycheck. I got to do this or else my bills aren't paid. You're always in a constant fight or flight. So residual income gives you the ability to get there and say, hey, who am I and what do I want? And at that point, you can really start to see what those next levels are and where you want to take it. So what does the insurance mean to me is it gives you the freedom to discover who you are in the end. And it gives you that financial stability to do that on that side. And I've always insisted that it's done in a way where where every day I feel good about what I did. I'm touching the lives of others. I'm changing the agents' world. I'm changing their trajectory in life. I'm helping the clients, and it's 360 win.
Totally. And you've helped a ton of people along the way, which has got to be a pretty cool feeling too.
Well, it's to me, it's do I feel good about what I've done? There's some people who are more like, I have ego and I'm like, oh, I've helped so many people do this and I have this metric on that. For me, it's like I'm helping myself. If I go hurt somebody, I'm not hurting them as much as I'm hurting myself, because I became the person that hurt someone, right? If I'm someone who will take your money for a lie, if I'll put you in a product that doesn't suit you, then I became a scam artist.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't hurt them. Okay. I became someone who will lie for money. So it's like almost you're prohibited from it.
True. Yeah.
So
you are.
So if you look back and you say, yeah, I've done a lot of good things, and I've helped a lot of people, and I've seen people's lives touched. But I'm not going to say that I haven't hurt a lot of people. I won't say that I haven't screwed a bunch of things up. I haven't told some lies, made some bad decisions. I try to make up for whatever I've done. Sometimes in the complications of business life, those things aren't even possible to amend for. You just have to amend in yourself and get better. So, but yeah, that's the insurance business, man. It's, it is. That's part of it is you get to go on a path. That's why we're here on life. You get to go on a journey in life to discover who you are, to help others, to get better, and to evolve over time. All these things that happen are your workout routine, your obstacle course that you go through, right?
Yeah.
It's your training. Life is training.
Totally. And when you look back on when you first started, and some of the training that you went through, because there's a lot of agents that are going to be able to relate to this. Did you get off to a really good start? Were you a natural? Did you have to work at it? Was it tough? Was it easy? What advice would you give?
The advice I would give is what I tell everyone. I told the cab driver the other day, find someone who's doing what you love and doing really good and that you really like. And go talk to them, go sit in their office forever long, do whatever you have to get me with them, say, look, I like you and what you're about. Can I sweep your floor? Can I sweep your floor? Can I be around you in any way? Can I get on this wave you're on? My father beat the pavement for 12 or 13 years before he gave me a list of people to cold call in the summers before I went to college. Now, 2 summers of cold calling, going out on appointments with him. Success was pretty easy for me. The first month I sold like 17 policies, which,
wow.
Was a big deal. But I'd had 2 summers riding around with one of the top agents in the country, working fully with him. So like, I wouldn't expect anyone else to do that and to say I hadn't already put in, 6-7 months of that. But then, for the next couple of years, man, it's to get over the hump in the insurance business. That happens here. It happens here. You got a lot of people think they're going to go find the next word or the next talking point or the next close or technique or whatever. Man, when you become the right person, the sales come to you. So if you do the work here and here, and and when that happens, you have that right thing, then you're going to harmonize with your clients. They're going to want to do business with you. And then you don't need the closes and the techniques and all that, although you know them and you use them appropriately. But I forgot what your question was. I'm kind of rambling.
Well, I love that because you're focused on becoming a better you, what if they're like, I don't feel like I'm the right person yet? How do they become, if they're like, I don't understand how to become a better version of me and reach my potential and like not so worry about so much with all the phrases and objections and role playing and all this stuff. And like, How do I become a better version of me first?
Well, first of all, you got to know who you are. My mentor in the Baptist Student Union in college, my sophomore year, he told me I had a thing with a girl. I was trying to figure it out. And I'm like, what do I do? And he goes, well, what do you want out of life? Well, I'm talking about her. That's a whole other decision about, college, and that shouldn't my student advisor ask me that. I said, no, what do you want out of life? And he said, and he challenged me. He spent a couple hours with me, and he challenged me to write down on a board. He used the analogy of a thesis statement that you write in your college papers and all that. So what is the thesis statement for your life? What do you want to accomplish with your life? And now you can take and if you know what that is, now you can take every decision you have, everything that you want to decide throughout your whole life. And you can say, just like when you're writing a college paper, does it match the thesis statement or not? So yes, this could be a good idea, but this is my mission. This is who I am. So does it fit? Does it support my mission, or does it not? So the first thing people need to know is what that means. So mine specifically was to honor God, to grow, and to leave I think it's immature now, but to leave a string of touch lives behind me. As if I was just going to go touch everyone's lives and get on and everyone's going to be happy, right? But that's what it was at that point. But with that, knowing that, then when I got in the insurance business, which I could have been any business, I brought it back from there and I said, okay, does this help people? Yes, it helps people. Is there a way I can service people here? Yes. Is there a way I can become financially stable in this? Because I also want to get married and have children. And I had these visions. I want to get my own apartment. I didn't want to be at dad's house anymore. It was my first 3 months out of college, right? I want to get my own apartment. I want to be financially stable. Yeah, this checks the boxes for all that. And I can help people. So let's do this for a while. And then so from there, since that fit all the boxes, then when I need to craft my sales message and all that, there's a lot of elements my dad taught me, the structures of how I communicated with people, but it was different. So I crafted my own message, and that had to fit those boxes.
Yeah.
Where dad was more features and doing this in community based, I was more, I want to help you. I will be with you all the time. So bringing it back down from that level, that's the work you're doing in yourself. And then it plays out in your calendar and every conversation you have and all of that.
Yes.
Does that illustrate what we're talking about pretty well?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it totally does. And if they're saying, okay, what should I focus on? Like, okay, I'm focusing on me and getting better. I think a lot of agents struggle with overthinking things, lack of confidence, not getting in front of people. What are some of the things that you think they should focus on, like their first few years, and get really good at and like understand to start to see the success?
So I'll give you a little analogy that happened this morning. I got here to the Virgin Islands, my house here. I haven't been here in 3 years, since pre-COVID.
Wow.
I waited out. They started having all these restrictions. I don't play those games. So I waited for that out. And then I've just been busy the last, 9-10 months. Haven't been able to get here. So I get here, I have 2 cars here. One I bought right at the beginning of COVID. I've never even seen it. And I have an old one. I bought that to replace this old island car I had that blew an engine. One of my guests that rents my house blew an engine. So go look at that car. I'm like, man, I could get the engine. I could do all that, but it's just, let's sell it as is, where is. We were thinking about it for a long time. Let's just sell it, put an ad in as is, where is, get someone come pick it up, see if we can get someone to take it away, basically. Hopefully it'll be a good job for them, someone who mechanic special, right? Well, my wife's going to think I'm picking on her, but she's like, okay, well, where's the title? And where's the, I'm like, I'm too busy right now trying to worry about going to put an ad in. I'm sure when we get a buyer, we'll go find the title. Right. So I say that to say this: Good. How many people are going to this conference talking about how they're going to scale their business? Some guy came up and cornered me the other day. Said, what cornered me? He was fun to talk to, but he started asking me all the things about when you exit your business and if I've exited businesses and what I should look for and all that. And I'm like, okay, so what's your company? I might even be interested. What do you do? He goes, oh no, this will be like 5-7 years from now. And yeah, you do hear, have a buyer when you start a business and, kind of know that long-term plan
Sure.
and all that, but it should be so fuzzy. It should be so fuzzy at that point. You shouldn't, people, if you don't have a consistent lead source, you're not going
Yes.
to fix it.
Correct.
If you don't have a consistent way that you approach methods, you've heard me say this a bunch of times. When you're first starting, you take one product. That's it. I'm going to sell this product, and you find one lead source that matches that product. And there's a congruent experience from where the customer clicks or opens the mailbox or opens the door or whatever. There's a congruent experience for them, not for you, that you're aware of, that takes them from A to you being on the phone, so that when you call them or you knock on the door, whatever it is, they understand that you're there for a reason. Now, if you're cold call and it's consistent with their experience, all the other stuff, all the leads that are being sold everywhere, they don't have that. And there's no transparency in that. So people are getting leads and they're being told a lead's a lead, don't gripe. Well, people are starting to be good about that. But the truth is a lot of these leads are bad. The people who are selling them may have been resold 3 times before they bought them and resold them, and no one knows what's happening. And these people might have been called 18 times, right? So if you don't have awareness of how your leads are being generated or how you're generating your own leads, which is better, the ability to generate your own leads. But at first, you just need to know that you have a consistent experience. You need to have one way, one product that's congruent with that, that's a natural sell into that. If you try to go anywhere beyond learning that, until you're writing at least 4 or 5 apps a week, depending on your environment. My old call center is 10, but they were just being fed so well. But, until you get that, don't worry about another product. Don't worry about another source. Don't worry about anything, especially exiting. Don't worry about what it's going to be like when you get an office full of 7 people and all that. All those things will come if you focus on the things that are here and now. When I got out of college, I read Zig Ziglar's Secret to Closing the Sale, Tom Hopkins' How to Master the Art of Selling. A few years later, I said, man, I paid $20 for those books and they made me a couple million. But what was cool is I figured I learned more out of those 2 books than I learned all the way through college, because I could read them and go apply them the next day. If I can do something now and then go to work the next day, it will integrate the learning that I had into my brain, and then I can effectuate it into my habits, and it'll be habitual. Now, if I have a habit of success taken from the book that I learned, and it's immediately relevant to me, and I go put that into practice, and now it's habitually in my body, in my energy system, I can't not do it. How valuable is that?
Yes.
That's the goose that's going to lay golden eggs for the rest of your life. And that's also your spiritual journey. It's who you become, because if you become that, you'll naturally get all the effects like a person who gets that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, man. And you've gotten to where too, like, you like looking back and helping agents. Like, I can tell, like, it's why probably one of the biggest reasons you chose to be on the show and the conference and traveled to some of the road shows in the past. We've done a bunch of stuff together, and I love inviting you to some of our stuff because you deliver and you care, where's that side of you come from? Have you always been that way? Do you feel like that rubbed off on you from family? Is it an experience that you had that where you were like, I want to be more like that too, or I want to do that when I get older, like they did for me?
I don't think it's ever a rational decision. Like, no one, I think we have conversations and we make very complex things very simple. Like, oh, my dad was always good to me, so I want to be good to other people, things like that.
Right.
Just like we were talking the other day, if you limit God, if you talk about God, you limit him 999 million%, right? Because God is infinite in everything, and a word is just very small. So we're just trying to talk about God, right? Like, we just have to know that we're just guessing here. But where it comes for me to care and help, you heard me talk badly about my lineage the other day. My grandfather was a minister. My grandpa on the other side, he was an oil field worker. I guess there's always a concern for people, a care for people. My dad made it a big passion in his life to, we're in a small town, take care of people, do a good job by people, you'll be taken care of. He took care of the kids in the baseball team, and he coached baseball teams and all that. So there was always something in there about mom and dad were always present. That's great. I got to be partners with mom and dad when I started in the business world. I didn't know another way. So that was it. And so the mentorship that my father had on me of, making sure to help people. But I also, when I was off in college, I was talking to my mentor in Baptist Student Union. I was saying the same thing. I wanted to help people. So somehow that was ingrained in me, probably just from love of God. And, even when I went on my bad path, I did drugs and alcohol to excess. I was in dark places for many years. There was still that thing pulling me through. So when God, no matter what, he's gonna hold on to you, man. He's not gonna let you go. If you're in a dark place and you feel like something's not right, you're not one of them, it's because God's got a hold on you. He's trying to pull you back out. So I can go preach tomorrow, but talk insurance today.
I love that.
So where to come from? I mean, it's just always been there. And then also like, I have a rule that flips everything on the head of, what people are trying to say. Like I say, don't ever count your number of dials in a day. Now I'm assuming, that you're motivated and you really work and do something. I think if you say, people used to say, do 100 dials a day or whatever their number is. Well, my top producer who was writing 700 med subs a year, he made about 7 to 10 dials a day. And the reason he made 7 to 10 dials a day is because he was on the phone talking to clients and making sales most of the time. So if you talk on the phone to a client for an hour and a half, how many dials did you not make? Right?
Good.
So the old saying my dad said was love the one you're with, because you never know who's the next one's going to be. If you have someone on the phone, make a friend, make a lifelong friend, take as long as it takes, whether that's an hour, whether it's 4 hours, make a lifelong friend, do everything you can. And most people can't do it because they don't have the capacity to connect with someone on such a deep level and to go through the thoroughness of the business, but yet make the connection, all the things that you do. For me, it naturally worked out about an hour and a half for a regular client, but I was in some homes 4 or 6 hours at times. And sometimes you miss the next appointment, but there's never anything more than the next one. So I'm saying all that to say this: when you fully get integrated in connecting on a deep personal level with people, there's no other way to be. Yeah. When you come in and you have a lifetime of sitting there, I mean, I used to go in people's homes. I missed that when I got on the phone. But I used to go in people's homes and you connect on such a deep personal level. You see their kids and their grandkids' pictures on the wall, and they tell you the stories about when they were young and when they moved. Like, you really do that. Then all these other interactions seem so counterfeit, so impersonal. And also what you're going to find out is when you connect with people that way, they're not going to leave you. The next guy's going to be transactional, and he tries to replace your policy. The next guy's going to be transactional, and he's not going to connect with them. And even if he's got a better deal, their emotional bar for buying is so high now that you're going to keep your client. And why would you not spend an extra 20 minutes solidifying a sale that you have rather than, getting to the next one that's probably not going to be there anyway? Because if they're going to cancel quickly in a year when they get their first rate increase, and they're going to cancel quickly because you haven't done the right things to keep them as lifelong clients, and what's going to happen? You're going to have to go replace that policy. Well, you could have spent 20 minutes, and that's going to take a day, right? Yeah. You could have spent 20 minutes then to keep that policy for 3 or 4 years. So you asked me, was it about helping people? Once you learn how to connect with and help people, there's no other way. There's no other way to live. Everything else will seem counterfeit to you.
Totally. And when we talk about that, when you look back on the show, Agency Investors, that we just shot, that'll come out in a few months as of recording this, you were able to help some people. And I feel like you did a really good job of that too, because you were you're direct, you're transparent, you're honest, you tell people like it is, which I respect the heck out of. And I think that comes with time in business, like you just get tired of people making excuses and people screw you over enough, and or you see people should have done things a certain way, or you learned certain things and you're like, no, don't do that. Trust me, do this. Right. Was there a moment in time that
I thought you were going to sound the show.
Yeah, that stood out on the show? Was there a moment? Kind of give them a little behind the scenes, and I'm kind of curious why you even agreed to do it. Because I was excited you did.
We'll start with why first. First of all, anything I can do to help you in what you're doing, man. I love innovators. I love people who are making the business better. So, you came in and you opened up the entire insurance industry to be able to get an act together, where everyone else at one point was trying to recruit each other. Like, that's the only reason anyone was there, for a direct recruiting thing. And I'm not saying there's no recruiting involved at the 8% conferences. There's booths out there. I pay for one. There's stuff that goes out there. People are selling products and recruiting. But it is, what you've done is the first time you've been able to rally everyone around, competitors alike. And it's not for the sole purpose of getting each other into each other's hierarchy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's about coming together as an industry. Now, when I was coming up in the late 90s, early 2000s, we didn't have internet. We didn't have social media. We didn't have any of those things. So it was such a wonderful privilege when we got to go on the trips that the companies have, to see someone else in our industry who had figured out the same things we did and had a life like ours. Because for the most part, if you're some guy selling Medicare supplement insurance in Lufkin, Texas, you have, 6, 7 people that are like you, and one of them's 20 years older than you, and you feel all alone in the business. So what you're doing, man, is just bringing people together. People don't feel alone. That stuff's been solved, man. And then the relationships that they have going on. And and I think because of that, people, I brought some of my team out there. People were like, are you going to be afraid that they'll get recruited by someone out there? I'm like, if they do, it's probably a better fit for them. And I'm sure some people are going to come try to work in my ecosystem at this point and all that too. In the end, nature settles itself. So if you're not trying to hold on to anything too tight, you'll keep it more and you'll get more. So first of all, anything I could do for you, but man, the show was just kick ass, dude. It was a Shark Tank for insurance agents, man, and agencies. Just the idea sounded good, and the experience of doing it, and the connections, and the quality of people that came in, and the lack of quality of people. I'll even say the humor.
Some humor, man.
The humor factor. But I would totally be glued to the TV for it, man, because I don't know how the editing's going to come out, but I know, man, the feeling in that room, the things that happen in the room, it far exceeded my expectations, man. So I was proud to be a part of it.
Thank you. I'm excited to get it released and even do another one in the future. And it meant a lot that you, Dr. Billy Williams, Edward Pritchett, Cassie Arbelli, 4 powerhouses in this space, really wanted to get involved and help out. And Cody Askins.
The Cody Askins, Mr. 8% himself, sitting center stage, keeping us all in line, anchoring the group.
Trying to. That's a hard group to keep under control, by the way. The 5 of us. Oh my gosh.
Did y'all, I don't know, did everyone say yeah, or what did you do? Because the chemistry we had, all of us had kind of met each other a little bit. I'd never met Edward before. But like there was a group chemistry there. Like we were reading each other's minds. The balance of knowledge and ability there was fantastic. People blowing me away. Billy Williams sitting there. Me and Edward were sitting there. He was giving advice to people. Me and Edward both pulling out our notes sheet, taking notes. Because the powerful people, man. Like what he's accomplished in a whole different way than I've accomplished it, and all that. And it's like I want to learn, man. So.
Yeah, you've all accomplished a lot, but just in different ways. And you're all people that I personally want to hang out with for 2 full days, by the way. And that I respect and want to learn from and want to be around more. And I just felt like the mix would be good. The group would be good. Like you're all deep down, you're all really good people that are very respectful and that care. After that, we're all rough around the edges at times, and we're a like super transparent, or if we don't like somebody saying something, we'll just be like, stop, please stop. Um, I've had to grow in those areas, but like being around you all, man, it's going to help me grow. So I loved it.
You were talking about me being a little rough on people, or being straightforward. I think the best thing you can do for someone is not blow smoke.
Mm-hmm.
I find it offensive if someone comes in and tells me I did a great job when I didn't.
Yeah.
And they think am I a kid that you need to coddle me?
Mm.
I want your honest opinion. Now, you may be wrong, but I really want to hear your honest opinion, and I'll take that, and I'll take someone else's honest opinion. If I'm really playing in life, if I'm really going after it,
yeah,
I want the raw, honest opinion of you, and I'll take that for what it is, and I'll take someone else's opinion and know that it's better than Cody's. But
sure.
no,
for sure.
No, but I want that, and I think anyone who doesn't who can't speak from the heart plainly and say, this is what I see, you're doing a disservice to the person, especially if they're looking up to you for advice. If they think, you don't know what's in their mind of what they think you are, you stand on your own accomplishments, but they may in their own mind see it differently. So to be as raw and honest as you can, I think is good. I think I had a few zingers from what I heard from the promo that was played the other day. But I think there's also some people there who I might not have made a deal with. And I said, look, this is exactly where you're going wrong with this, and this is why you shouldn't do it. But you're missing this whole other side that you're not seeing. And I wish someone would have told me some of those things when I was 25 or 45. Mm-hmm. I wish someone would be that honest with me in some cases.
Yes. I do too. And I respect that. Like I respect from others. I respect from you. I like hearing it because someone got to, even if I don't think they're right, they found that opinion somehow, which is cool. If someone wants to learn more about you and Insurasales and everything you got going on, and just get in touch, man, and talk shop, learn from you, hire you as a mentor, whatever. Where should we send them? What's the best way to do that?
Well, we just launched BrandonTodd.com. It's been in the works for 15 years. I got the domain in 2004. If y'all want bonus points, go back on the Wayback Machine and see where it was. I did it. I launched it in 2000. I think it's 4 or 5. I don't know, somewhere around in there. But I launched it with there's a fake site I threw up in one night on Yahoo Business Sites or whatever they had at that point, because my friend who was a professional comedian was afraid to market himself. He was afraid to put up a website and all that. So in one night, I threw up a website to show how I was a professional comedian, and I was raved about all over the place. And it sat up there for years, and so that was out there, and people had found that on the Wayback Machine, which is kind of funny. But for it's set stagnant. But we just did BrandonTodd.com. So there's a lot of information about me there. The most important thing is I've started my own email list. And I was around when email lists, I'm kind of old schooler, but email lists were a good way for people to talk to their followers, to their audience. And now it becomes less that. A lot of times people aren't writing their own things and all that. So if you join my email list, I have a lot of things going on, some good things that are revolutionizing the way the insurance agent gets treated in the insurance industry. And that's launched in September 5th, some things I'm doing there. If you join my email list, you'll stay in touch with me, and I promise you that I will write every word that you ever get, and I will not waste your time. And I will not spam you. I'm not going to try to throw a bunch of stuff. I will have honest communications. I don't need 1 million followers. I don't need any of that. But people are truly serious about building and scaling their business in the right way. I want you to be in my ecosystem, and I want to see where it goes.
Yeah, dude, I love it. You're a special dude. I appreciate you coming back on the channel once again. I look forward to all the crazy projects we do together in the future. And thank you for joining all the way from the Virgin freaking Islands, brother. Thank you.
The Cody Askins, man. Can we see the ocean?
Let's go, dude. I love that. Gosh dang. I'm coming. I'm on my way. Who else is joining me? Let's go hang out with Brandon Todd for a couple of days, man.
Here's what we're gonna do. You see that island right behind me?
Yeah.
We're not gonna swim over there. We're gonna take a boat over there.
I can
And we'll get on that little peak right there. Let's see if I can do it there.
Yeah.
And we're going to go all the way to the top, and we're going to plant an 8% flag.
Let's go.
An 8% and an Insurasales flag.
Yes. I'm in. BT, thank you for being on the podcast, man. Appreciate you.
Insurasales is on top.
Yeah, for sure. 8%. Yes.
Love you, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, bud. Love you. Okay. Thank you guys for listening to the Power Player Podcast. Go follow Brandon, man. His journey, everything he's doing. Go hang out on the Virgin Islands with him. Whatever you got to do, man. But keep learning from him. Keep soaking it up. And we'll see you on the next podcast. Adios.
Cheers.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Okay, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.